Hello and welcome to Anarchy in the Ukulele with me, Paul Mansell. So today I'm going to do a tutorial to show you how to do an arpeggio pick like this. Okay, so these are often called broken chords. Effectively an arpeggio or a broken chord, it's normally played with the finger or thumb, and it's where you're hearing all the notes of the chord separately, like that. So it's a trickle of the notes, da 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 da, rather than all of them together. The norm is to play it like that, but we can do it with a much more controlled way than playing it with our thumb or our finger. We can actually do it more of a pick than a strum. Today I'm going to show you how to do that because it's a great thing to add to your repertoire. So I'm going to play you a little piece called Masquerade. And I've picked this piece on purpose because you'll see in this piece I do a lot of arpeggio finger picks, finger rolls. And there's a reason for that. In this piece we want to bring the melody out. Okay, I'll play it through first and then explain what I mean. So that's a piece called Masquerade that was originally written for the lute in the 16th century. If anyone's interested, it's taken from my book, Classical Uke. It's the first one in the book, ideal for beginners. So let me explain a little bit about the arpeggio pick. This piece, when I arranged it, it's made up of two factors. It's made up of melody, that's the tune, okay? It's then made up of some harmony, the chords, that are happening on beat one. So when this was originally written on lute, the chords would have been bass notes, but we don't have any bass notes on the ukulele because we've only really got 2 octaves on the ukulele, although I am on a low G. When we play this piece, we want to hear the melody. The melody is the important bit. It needs to be lifted over and above the rest of the music. And that's normally the case when you're playing music, that the melody wants to be a little bit louder. If you're just listening to music, if you're listening to a CD of the Beatles, the vocals are lifted up. The melody is always lifted up a little bit. So how do we do that? Have a listen to these 2 bars. I'm going to play the same 2 bars but separate, different ways. So this is the first way. And this is the second way. In the second one, you can hear the melody a lot more. And that's because I'm doing this arpeggio roll. It separates the last note you play a lot more. So the melodic note is the B, okay? On the top line, on the A string, okay? 2nd fret. That's the note that within that chord I want to hear the most. Now it's especially difficult because this G chord is dominated by a G. There's 2 G's in it, but I want to hear this note more. So if I do an arpeggio roll, that B is the last note that you hear. Okay, so how do we do it? Place all of your 4 fingers on the strings, okay, like that. And in effect, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, just very rapidly are very controlled. You're not moving the hand like that. All the movement is in the fingers. When you first do it, it'll be a little bit juddery and uneven. But the more you practice it, the smoother it will get. Try and relax the hand, and all the movement is in the fingers. So that note becomes dominant, the last one I hit. So if I pick a C chord and I want the C to be dominant, I can do that. Likewise, if I pick an F chord, if I do it with all 4 fingers, the A will be dominant. If I want the F note to be dominant, I would just use 3 and then stop on the F. So if you think about it, when you just play a chord, you can get numerous different sounds from one chord. Listen to this F chord. There's 3 different sounds just by picking where I strum it. So we don't always have to just be strumming like mad. So to go through it again, when we're doing an arpeggio chord, arpeggio pick, we place our 4 fingers on the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. So your fingers stay on the strings until the previous finger is finished. And you slowly practice that until you get quicker and quicker. And you'll be amazed the amount of classical pieces that you'll play where you really need to bring that melody out. You can achieve it with a strum, but you can have a lot more control if you're doing it with your fingers. So place all 4 fingers on the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and quickly. Your hand remains still. All the movement is in the fingers. And that's how to do an arpeggio pick, sometimes called a broken chord. I like the name broken chord because I think it describes it really well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell. Bye now.